Hello and welcome to the second video on midpoint of a line. So in the last video, we were looking at lines that were either straight across, like this one here that I'm drawing now. So we were looking at lines that were either straight across, or we were looking at lines that were straight up and straight down, just like that. In this video, we're going to learn how to find the midpoint of a line that is slanted, okay? The line that is diagonal, like this one here, A, or B, or C, or D, any of these. So when we were using a line that was straight across or straight down, like this one or this one, all we had to do was we had to count the number of boxes and divide by 2. With this, we can't do that. Because if you look at the line cuts through boxes at different points. So you can see that it cuts through this box here, where I'm just drawing a little arrow. It cuts through this box here at a different point to where it cuts through here, and it cuts through here at a different point. So we can't just count the boxes. So what we do is we use something called a formula. And a formula is like a rule, and actually you've used a formula quite recently, Pythagoras' theorem. So Pythagoras' theorem was, Pythagoras' theorem was a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that is essentially a formula. We called it a theorem, but it's the same thing for what we're doing right now. So what we're going to use today is we're going to use a formula, and it's the midpoint formula. Now, you will always be given this formula. You don't have to worry. You'll always be told what it is. You don't have to learn it off by heart. Either it'll be up on the board, or if you have a test, it'll be on the exam paper. So all you need to know is how to use it. And the way you use it is you have to get the points at either end of the line. So you can see I've already written down these 2 points, 1, 5 and 5, 7. 1, 5 is here, where I'm just drawing the little cross. And then 5, 7 is here, the end of the line. So I have the point at the start of the line and the point at the end of the line. And once you have those two, then you can start using the formula. So you write down the 2 points, and then what you do is, once you've written down the 2 points, you put a little x over this one, a little y over this one, a little x and a little y. And why do we do that? Okay, so 1 is where this point is on the x-axis, and 5 is where this point is on the y-axis. So x tells us where it is on the x-axis, and y tells us where it is on the y-axis. And it's the same for the second point. X is 5. You can see that this point here is above the 5. So it's 5 on the x-axis, and it's level with 7 on the y-axis. Okay, once we've written down x, y, and xy above it, what I do is I like to put a little number. So this is x1 and y1, because this set of coordinates, they're the first set of coordinates. So that's x1, y1. And then the next one is x2, y2. And that's because they're the second set of coordinates. So once we have x1 and y1 and x2 and y2 labeled, now we can use our formula. And all we're doing now is we are substituting those numbers in where the formula tells us to. So I draw a big brackets like this, and I put a comma. This is a comma in the middle. And I draw a line across, and I put a little plus, and I put a little plus. I'm just copying what the formula tells me, and I put 2's there. Now, the formula tells me that I have to add x1 and x2. So what is x1? x1 is 1. And what's x2? x2 is 5. And then the formula tells me that I have to add y1 and y2. So what's y1? y1 is 5. And y2 is 7. So all we've done there is we've taken the numbers and put them into the formula. And now that we've done that, we have to add them and then divide by 2. So if you add 1 and 5, you get 6. And I'll just leave the 2 underneath for a moment. And over here, if you add 5 and 7, you get 12. And I'll just leave the 2 underneath. So the last thing you have to do now is divide the numbers on top by the numbers on the bottom. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Now, this is the answer. So if we go to the graph, all right, let me just get a different color. If we go to the graph and we go to 3 on the x-axis and 6 on the y-axis, so we go out to 3 and up to 6, we can see that the point 3, 6, that is the midpoint of the line. It's the middle point of the line. And that's all you have to do. So you can see that it's kind of like a 4 or 5 step process. Step 1 is to write down the coordinates. That's step 1. Step 2 is to write down the formula. Step 2 is to write down the formula. Step 3 is to put the numbers into the formula in the correct order. Step 4 is to, you've added them together and now you divide them, and then you have your answer. So it's a 4 or a 5 step process, depending on how you look at it. So what I want you to do now for today's lesson is I want you to find the midpoint of B, C, and D. I'm actually going to get you started with B, and I will give you the coordinates and I'll write down the formula so that you can get a head start. So B, the first point, this point up here where I'm putting the little cross, that is above 4 on the x-axis and it's level with 11 on the y-axis. So the first point is 4 and 11. And the second point, this one here that I'm drawing across through now, that is above 8 on the x-axis and level with 9. So it's 8 and 9. Now, I'm going to give you the formula, the midpoint formula, midpoint. And it's x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2, close brackets. So that's to get you started. And actually what I'll do is I'll help you just labeling them. So this is x, this is y, this is x, this is y. These are the first coordinates, so that's x1, y1. These are the second coordinates, so it's x2, y2. So I've gotten you started there with B, and I'll get you to try and do C and D all by yourself. And just follow the process step by step. Okay, and let me know if you're stuck with any of them and I can try and help you. Have a great day.